proved painful for opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. A spokesperson for the Nobel Peace Prize winner says she fractured her vertebra on the first leg of her journey in a small wooden fishing boat that took her to the island of Curacao. She flew on from there in a private plane to Oslo. Dow futures up 59. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
From holiday hosting to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. And now, during the Sizzle All the Way sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code SKY at checkout. I was lucky enough to receive Omaha Steaks as a gift, and it was everything I had hoped for. Items were individually packaged so I could cook for the entire family. Or if I was the only one home, I would treat myself with a delicious steak, sides, and even dessert. I loved those nights by myself. Right now is the perfect time to save on delicious gifts and holiday hosting favorites. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. It's holiday magic made easy. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code SKY at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, code SKY.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
And our call stands for Good Neighbor Station. That's been our objective since 1947. WGNS, AM, FM, and online.
Hey y'all, it's Taylor at Bell Jewelers inviting you to come shop with us this holiday season. We have tons of deals going on this holiday season along with special hours. We will have extended hours during the month of December along with being open the last 2 Sundays before Christmas. Full staff, no time like the present, and we will have plenty to choose from. Come visit us here at Bell Jewelers at 821 Northwest Broad Street across from Toots.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable, a look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Good morning, Table. I'm here live in the WGNS studios here in downtown Murfreesboro. And I want to thank Brian Barrett for calling me to do this and
a moment of weakness.
A moment of weakness. And hope that Andy Herzer, he's doing well, and his new grandchild, he and Gina's. So I'm excited about not only coming into the studio at Christmas time, but being able to interview, I'm going to say, a pretty good friend, a dear friend of mine.
Let's go with
a good friend.
Yeah, dear is too much, isn't it?
I call him Vinny, but y'all know him as Dr. Vincent Windrow. Doctor, thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Murfreesboro. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you. We've got several things we can talk about. First of all, is it cold enough for you?
Yeah, it is, as a matter of fact. Yeah, but I think I'm gonna be all right. How about you?
Man, I forgot my long johns on. I'm ready, man.
And we're inside, so
too much information. Have you gotten all your Christmas shopping done, or do you put that on the missus?
Oh no. I do my fair share, but no, I have not. I have not completed the assignment yet. I'm working on it.
Are you an Amazon? Do you go on? You don't fight the people. You're for the people, but you don't fight with the people.
I'm among the people too.
You're among the people.
Yeah, I like the spirit of Christmas in a number of ways, particularly mingling and shopping and all of that. There's something to that.
You know, well, we're not going to go into growing up here in Murfreesboro. Let's talk about all the things that you've been up to. I mean, tell me, you're a motivational. First of all, you're You're a husband, father.
That's right.
A preacher.
That's right.
A public speaker.
You read my bio.
And you did something over at MTSU that you just retired from. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the great joys of my professional career was returning to MTSU as a professional. I had earned my BS degree from there. And so I returned, and for 14 years, I was an administrator. My last assignment was as Associate Vice Provost for Student Success. It was a great position. And we did really good work in terms of increasing retention rates and completion rates. It was a great story, and I and two of my colleagues, Rick Sluter and Brian Hinote, traveled throughout the United States telling the MTSU story. It was a great time.
Awesome, man. You know, I did graduate from MTSU, but it took me 8 years.
No,
from 84.
You took 8 years. It didn't take you, because you could have done it in a shorter period of time.
Okay, let's move on. But yeah, Vinny and I go way back to seventh grade. Seventh grade. Of course, we went to Central Middle School together. And then he went to Oakland.
Well, truth be known, and I don't tell this, so this is probably breaking news. I did spend a year at Riverdale. I got paddled by Mr. Herbert.
So did I. and Coach Buster Faulkner, too. No,
he didn't paddle me, but Joe Herbert put that wood on me, though.
Joe Herbert knew how to paddle, man. He'd break that paddle over your hiney. But I didn't know that.
Did that help you?
That did help me, but for some reason, okay.
Did the paddling help you?
No,
Did it straighten you up?
For a day or so, yeah.
Okay. So, are you in favor of corporal punishment?
Well, the Bible says, spare the child, spoil the rod.
I don't know if you spoil the rod, but if you spare the rod, you may spoil the child.
We're supposed to discipline our children.
Yeah, by paddling them. I think discipline is important, of
but
course.
Maybe not paddling. I mean,
what about corporal punishment? No, what about capital punishment?
Well, I don't know how you could be, Lord, we're going to get on something. How can you be pro-life and be pro-capital punishment?
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Seriously.
That is interesting.
Letting everybody know, Dr. Windrow, he grew up here.
I'm a native of Murfreesboro. I was born here. I didn't just grow up here. There's a difference. I was born here.
Okay.
Yeah. And grew up here. Yes.
And you grew up downtown Murfreesboro. Where did you grow up?
Old Nashville Highway. I was born in my grandmother's home. I think Richard Nixon said I was born in the house that my grandfather built. That was the opening line of his memoir.
That's right.
Something like that.
You've got something going on at Old Nashville, the school.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. We'll get into the book later,
okay.
but I want to.
Sure.
I want to talk about the school, which I think is so cool.
So Civil War ends. The formerly enslaved, they need a place to stay. The black soldiers need a place to stay, and so they migrate. And some of them help to bury the soldiers, Stones River National Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yep. And so they migrated about a quarter of a mile, like moving towards Smyrna.
Right. And
established a all-black community called Cemetery Community, named after the National Cemetery. Right.
Right.
And so then the federal government purchased their land. Purchased. And so they moved a little. Somebody moved. They moved a little farther and set up shop on Old Nashville Highway. Now it's about a half a mile past
the battlefield.
So they had 3 churches, a burial ground, a cemetery, and a school called Cemetery School, which has its roots and its beginning in 1874. And so there have been various buildings that have happened over the years. This one was finished in 1941.
And your mom,
my mom, my grandmom, I mean everyone black in that community went to that school, K through 8.
Wow.
Yes. It's amazing.
Is it just one big room? Was
it is this version, the 1941 version, is a one room concrete block building, but they had a divider so that the teacher could.
Teacher's lounge. I'm sorry, Vinny.
That was a good one though. so that she could go back and forth between the age groups.
Right.
Yes.
Because again, it was first grade to 8th grade.
K through 8.
K through 8.
Yeah, that's kindergarten.
Wow.
Yeah. But you knew that.
I knew that. And mom and grandma, a lot of your family went to school.
Oh,
there.
absolutely. Everyone black in that area, in cemetery community, attended that school.
And a lot of those, the blacks were the ones that helped, were veterans, or not veterans, they helped bury the soldiers there at the battlefield.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the school was a place of solace. It was a place of community. It was a place of education, right? Interestingly enough, Bill, for every $6 spent on students at other schools, there was $1 spent on students at cemetery school. Think about that. Think about that. If the system spends $6 on me and $1 on you, think about the disparity in facilities. Think about the disparity in teacher pay and salary. Think about the outdated books that the students in cemetery schools, and not just hand-me-down books, but when you consider outdated books, it also means that the information was outdated. So I could be studying just as hard and as consistently and thoroughly as you, right? But I'm studying the wrong thing. I'm studying.
You're 2 years behind.
I'm studying old information, and I could be great at old information, but guess what? It's old information.
It's old.
So
I never thought about that.
So you see how we've had work to do, particularly in our educational system, over the years.
Right.
Over the years, because again, I don't. It doesn't matter how studious you are. If you're studying, if you're learning outdated information, now it may not matter in grammar or spelling or punctuation.
It's good for Jeopardy. That's about it.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
Alex, 404.
Well, hey, so I hadn't even thought about it like that, but
sure.
But
that's part of it, though, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, but I wonder if it was the same school board. We have a school board.
It was the school board.
It was the same school board that dictated to that school.
Absolutely.
That dictated to whatever.
All the rest of the schools in the county.
Critchlow or whatever.
All the rest of the schools in the county. And so it wasn't the superintendent. It was the system. Because you could put any superintendent in that position. The system is the one who manufactures and produces and generates.
That had to be changed.
It's plug and play. You can put... Of course, you've heard about system quarterbacks.
Right.
It doesn't matter who the quarterback is because of the system.
Right.
Right? And so it's the same thing. It's the same thing with all systems.
Wow. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're getting funding on this.
Yes.
How can people help out? Is there a way?
They can call me at 867-5309.
Do you have a Facebook page?
Oh, you didn't like that?
Well, by the way, he's also the preacher for
Olive Branch Church.
Olive Branch Church.
Olive Branch Church has been in Murfreesboro for 20 years, but it was founded on the back road, Cane Ridge Road in Antioch, Tennessee in 1875.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're headquartered in Nashville, but we've had a second location in Murfreesboro for 20 years.
Which was the old Minerva Drive Church of
Yes,
Christ.
1115 Minerva Drive. You see how that rolls off my tongue?
Yeah, that what? Say that again.
1115 Minerva Drive.
115 Minerva Drive, over by Rogers Park. So you're a preacher. How many members do you have?
Oh man, probably 1,500 over both locations.
That's a lot.
It is, man. It's exciting.
And you still do some public speaking. I mean, give me an idea of. You had mentioned when we met a couple weeks ago for lunch that I paid for. Anyway,
that I only had soup at.
Soup. Okay.
Yeah,
You had the,
I had a
you had
limit.
the special.
You gave me a limit.
You were talking about you had just got back from Africa. Tell us
Yes.
that story about the goats and then what country it was. Go into that.
Oh,
please.
absolutely. Happy to do so. So I was in Malawi about 11 years ago, and the church subsequently adopted an orphanage there, funded a water well there. We still support a pastor there. And so recently, back in November, I returned to Malawi as part of a group that World Vision sponsors. And so it's an opportunity, one, to return to Malawi, which is in southeastern Africa, surrounded by Zambia, Tanzania, and Mozambique. Always listed as one of the poorest countries in the world. But World Vision has this program that to sponsor a child, right? And so our church sponsored 202 children in Malawi. And what that sponsorship does, for every sponsored child, the family gets 4 goats.
4.
Now, when those goats have kids, right?
Right.
And
those are babies.
Baby goats.
Kids.
Yes.
That's Billy the Kid, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm a great Western movie fan.
Well, are you?
Do you have a favorite?
I like the old Italian spaghettis, like the good, the bad, the ugly.
Oh, is that Clint Eastwood?
That's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your favorite?
You know, I don't know. Of course, I'm an old Gunsmoke fan. Probably. What's the one with
True Grit?
No, come on. come on. What my wife is gonna kill me. Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp. Tombstone.
Tombstone is my favorite.
Tombstone
is my favorite. Yeah.
Let's get back to the kids.
Yeah, so when the 4 goats that the family initially receives for the sponsorship of the child, when those 4 goats, when they have 4 kids, then those 4 kids are passed on to another family. And then when that family's goats have 4 kids, then those 4 are passed on. And so it's an approach to building the economy of the village. It's amazing.
Off the goats, kind of like a pyramid. I mean,
probably not
a pyramid, but you know what I mean.
I do not know what you mean.
You give these 4 goats, and they have 4. And then they go on to another family.
Absolutely. It's community building.
How cool is that?
It's super cool. It is super cool. And I've been trying to think of how can that be, how can the approach be replicated or duplicated here? How can we do something like that? I haven't been able to come up with anything like it, but I love the approach.
Listeners, you can call in at 615-893-1450 if you want to give us your opinion, or if you have an idea of how we can reproduce the kids, right?
Or maybe not the kids, maybe the concept. The concept
yes. Of giving goats. That would be a great thing. I mean, it's we need. I tell you what, the way the world is today is just. It's crazy, man. We were talking about it out there, all the things that are happening around the world. I think things really changed for all of us as far as the health scare with COVID, which was 5 years ago.
It's already been 5 years?
Well, 2019, 2020.
I contracted it in 2020. It was bad. It felt like someone was sitting on my chest while someone else was pushing my ribs in. I was isolated upstairs in our bonus room, and my wife Stacy and our daughter Jewel used to come upstairs and put my food outside of the door and then knock on the door and then
like you're an animal.
Go downstairs, and I had to count to 10 before I opened up the door. Man, we were on high alert, man.
Were you the only one that got sick in your family, or did
No, it was me.
Did you give it to everybody else?
Yeah, no, it was me. It was me.
Man,
I was quarantined, sequestered, if you would.
I knew 7 to 8 people personally that died from it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, and then you've got people debate, well, take the vaccine, don't take the vaccine, the government's doing something. I mean, you got all sorts of conspiracies and stuff. But I remember when we were going to school, we had to get a TB shot. We had to get
measles.
You had to get
mumps.
vaccinated, dude, before they even let you in the door.
Absolutely. I still have my. Do you still have that mark?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Which one was that?
Is that
Was
the
that
smallpox or the
something on my arm? But it's on right here on my.
It's like a circle.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I've got that somewhere. But
they put yours in a different place than your shoulder.
Well, let me check.
No, I'm good on that.
But you know that was a time when COVID didn't care if you were a Democrat or Republican, if you were black or white or this, that, or that, a man or a woman, whatever. It just, as human beings, as people, you know, there's three things that affect me that probably affect everybody, and people will look at: finances, money, romances, relationships that could be, and health. It doesn't matter how much money we've got or.
Yes, it does, Bill. It regarding health, it does matter how much money you have. It does.
That is correct. But
what about romance? Does it matter how much money you have?
Depends on if you're going to Shoney's or if you're going to.
or if you buy someone's suit like you bought me.
Corrected in my own studio. I mean, not my studio. But my point being is, if you get a phone call this afternoon and that your child is deathly ill, as they say, 6 months to live, you're not thinking of Democrat, Republican, how much money I've got. I want to fight this disease, but
and how do you fight it then, Bill? How do you fight it?
Are we talking about how when AIDS came out with Magic, when all that happened?
Money talks. I mean, there was some disparity in terms of health outcomes between the haves and the have-nots.
That is true,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
No, I'm right. Did you say I was white?
No. Well, you're half right.
Did you say I'm right?
No, I said you're right.
I didn't know what you said.
No, I said you're right.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go into this book, which I've read, and it's really good.
Did you?
I did. I read it. And
you read it?
No, I read it.
Oh, cool.
Some days aren't so sunny.
Some days aren't so sunny.
Yeah, I'm going to these are jot downs for my mental health journey. This is a powerful book, and it's, let's see how many pages. It's around, and you give notes in the back, which I think is cool. You give
recommended reading and reflection questions.
Correct.
Now, did you fill out those reflection questions?
I did not.
Maybe that's what you should. That's your assignment. Next. Before I come back on this show or any other show with you, Bill Wilson, Mr. Murfreesboro, I want to see them. I want to see where you fill them out.
Have Meredith talk to Meredith.
Yeah,
make
it's
sure
homework.
I've done it. And that I did it, and not somebody else.
That's right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want AI to do it.
But this is an interesting book that you, as a preacher, that you came out and you suffered from depression. You had. Let's talk about that until we have a break.
We don't talk continuously on this show like other shows.
We'll have a break here in a minute, probably.
For a water break, a smoke break.
Yeah. Well,
I don't smoke.
I don't smoke.
I do drink water.
You do drink. We'll have a water.
Did you drink water this morning, though?
I did.
How much?
I had a glass full.
Oh, really?
Are you taking over?
No, I'm just asking you questions. I want to know.
Yeah.
I have an intellectual curiosity.
I'm just curious of the fact.
I know. Here's what I bet you want to ask me.
Okay.
Why did I write this?
Why did you write this?
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah. So another question is, why wouldn't I write this? And that there were reasons that came up as to why not to write about my mental health journey. What about the stigma around mental
Correct.
health? Who would follow a wounded leader? You know, I thought about the church. I thought about my wife and our two kids, Lorenzo and Jewel, but not what would they think,
right?
But what would their friends think? they were on board with me receiving help.
They love you anyway.
But I did think, so when you center someone, you consider how they'll be impacted or affected by what you do or say, right? And so I thought about them in that regard. And I thought about just people I know. I thought about the general public. What would they think? And then I began to think, well, what would happen if I wrote it?
Right.
If I told my story, if I wrote this, Some Days Aren't So Sunny, what's the worst thing that could happen? Could they prevent me from being married? Well, I was already married. Could they prevent me from having children? I already got kids. Could they prevent me from being a pastor? Already a pastor. Could they prevent me from being a motivational speaker?
Or being on this show.
I was getting there, Bill. I was getting there. I was almost there.
I'm sorry.
I was on number 8.
I'm trying to get the control of the show again.
I think I was on number 8, but I think being on this show was like 97. But I was eventually going to say, and Bill, I thought about if I wrote this kind of book, would Bill Wilson, Mr. Murfreesboro, ask me to be on his show? But you blew it, man.
It's not my show. Okay.
But all those things came up in my mind. And I was like, yeah, I wanted to tell my story, not just to tell my story. Now, I do like stories. Because stories inspire us. Stories connect us. Stories unite us. And stories allow us to see ourselves in a bigger picture.
Right.
Like for example, even if you don't believe the story of David and Goliath, even if you don't believe in that story, you have been an underdog before, and it can inspire you, whether you believe in a theological piece of it or not, whether you believe it's biblical or not. But if you believe in an underdog can conquer and overcome, you can see yourself in that story, and that story can empower you. Awesome. Stories are important.
We have been listening to Dr. Vincent Windrow. We've been talking about his book, Some Days Aren't So Sunny. Thank you, Vincent. We're going to take a break. You've been listening to the Roundtable.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
I'll be right there.
It takes all of us to power a community, both in plain sight and behind the scenes. Middle Tennessee Electric, bringing good energy.
This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my contact information at choosechip.net.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by Old National Bank, the law offices of John Day, and AmeriCare Pest Control.
This is a paid legal ad.
I'm attorney John Day. My wife Joy and I love dogs and have one of our own. But we've also helped people who have been injured by dog bites and dog attacks, as well as bicyclists who crashed after a dog attack. You need to know that the dog owner may have insurance to help pay medical bills and other expenses because of a dog attack. If your loved one has been injured by a dog, call the law offices of John Day for a free consultation.
Now, WGNS Good Neighbor Events. There's so many memories tied to this time of the year, and a grief support group is very helpful to many. There is a free grief support group every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Senior Center. That's at 325 St. Clair Street, here in Murfreesboro. That's 10 o'clock Wednesday mornings. Don't forget, it's the holiday season, and Nourish Food Bank needs your help. Donate food, clothes, your time, and of course your money. Nourish Food Bank is on Memorial next to Elders Hardware. And remember, this is the final week for the White Oak Holiday Bazaar. Local artisans are selling their beautiful jewelry, pottery, woodworking, and so much more. That's 10 until 4 each day. The White Oak Holiday Bazaar at the Art Center of Cannon County in neighboring Woodbury. Don't forget the buy one, get one free passes to SportsCom and the Patterson Community Center are available now through January the 18th. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
A cold weather advisory remains in effect. We'll see sunny skies here this afternoon, a high around 40 degrees. Tonight, mostly clear and a low near 22. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center. Currently, it's 14.
WGNS is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE's EV Ready program provides members with $50 in bill credits toward the installation of wiring to support 240-volt charging in their garages. Learn more at driveev.com.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back to the Roundtable. This is Mr. Murfreesboro, Bill Wilson. We've been joined live in the studio with Dr. Vincent Windrow, who has written a book.
Did you read the book, Bill?
I did read the book, except for the book's name is Some Days Aren't So Sunny.
Yes.
Dealing with jot downs from my mental health journey. And we were talking about earlier, you being a public figure. I mean, a father, a husband, a preacher, a public speaker, citizen. Talking about this book talks about, well, your mental health journey in the last so many years. Let's elaborate on that. We talked about why, or we've talked about why did you do this? What I would say, what made you do this? But that's kind of like why. But are you going to write another book? Is this journey continue? Tell us what made you do this?
Sure. So 2019, my caregiver when I was young, she was my mom's cousin. She was at my grandparents' home when I was born, and she named me. And so she didn't have children, so she took me in. Right. And although we lived on Old Nashville Highway, she taught at Smyrna Primary. So I started kindergarten. I started school at Smyrna Primary. And so living with her, I just went to school with her where she worked, right? And so she was found deceased in her home in October of 2019. And so then Jimmy Oden, my stepbrother, he passed in August of 2020. And then after that, man, it just seemed like
one thing after another.
One thing after another, man. It just kept happening and happening and happening. And because of the role I play publicly as a pastor, I was helping people. I was helping to lead people through their own pain and problems and getting them over the hump. But I never dealt with privately what I was leading publicly.
Right.
And it accumulated on me. And maybe the last three things were probably the toughest. My best friend died by suicide in June. Then my wife had to have emergency surgery. And then I eulogized my 10-year-old nephew. And my wife was like, Stacy was like, man, you need to take a break. I said, yeah, I do. I didn't.
Much.
Actually, I didn't say. I fought it. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm
right.
me. You know,
I'm Vinny.
I'm Vinny, right? I'm good.
I can handle anything. Yeah.
So, but she convinced me, and rightfully so, she convinced me to take a break from the pulpit. So from August to January, I didn't preach. I didn't go into the office. I was like on sabbatical, right? And then one day I knew I needed therapy. I believe in Jesus and therapy.
Amen.
So I was committed to finding an outside therapist, right? And I kept asking myself, I said, hey man, are you good with having outside help? I said, oh yeah, I'm good with that. I asked myself another time, I said, are you good with having outside therapy? And my answer to my question was, I don't know. And it scared me. It scared me. So I immediately called my wife, who was at the gym. I said, hey mama, I need to go somewhere. And so it was a tough, it was a tough getting to that place of actually going.
That decision.
Yeah, knowing.
Taking action
yes,
to do
yeah.
that.
Knowing is one thing. Doing something about what you know.
Amen.
And so I've always, not always, because I haven't always done anything, but I frequently tell people, it's nothing wrong with needing help, but there is something wrong with needing help and not getting the help that you know you need.
Amen.
So you have to go from knowing that you need help to really doing something about it so that you can get better, right?
Right.
And so that's what I did, man. And we looked and looked and looked. You know, you have to match your insurance with the facility and all of that. And there were some highfalutin places.
Palm Springs, maybe? No.
Actually, I found a place in Florida, and I was in my office at home, and Stacy, my wife, was in the kitchen. She was on her laptop. I was on my laptop, and we was trying to find a place. And I said, Mama, I found a place.
She's looking for the mall.
And she comes running in. She says, where is it? I said, I found a place in Florida. She says, oh, no. She says, you are not going to be on the beach in Florida talking about you're getting better. Right. So obviously I didn't go there.
Right.
But we did find a place up in the hills near Dixon, Tennessee, all the way up in the hills, man. And it was transformational. It really was. And I needed it. One, I needed to unplug. Because life kept going.
Bing, bam, boom.
It kept going, even with me grappling with what I was grappling with, the grief and the sorrow and the depression, all of that. Life didn't stop. Life didn't hit pause. Life kept going. So I really needed to unplug, and I really needed to unload or download what I was feeling, right? Because all that had happened, those were the facts, but there were some feelings associated with the facts that I needed to deal with, man.
Right.
So it was a interesting experience, to say the least.
And you found out in this journey, there's something to do with being hyper.
Yes, hypomania.
Talk about that.
Sure.
I've never heard of that until I read this book.
Yeah. So bipolar disorder 2, type 2.
Right.
It's called hypomania, where you have a whole bunch of highs, and then you have some lows associated with the highs that you eventually have to come down. And so you're not delusional. You don't hallucinate.
Right.
Right. It's the third cousin of schizophrenia. Right.
Right.
Of being bipolar. And so I was diagnosed with that. And now I'm more sensitive to rest. Rest is the foundation of my mental health.
Right.
If I don't insert rest, if I'm not committed to getting enough rest, then I feel it inside of me. I am off. I'm off kilter. I'm off rhythm.
Like halt. Don't get too hungry. Don't get too angry. Don't get too lonely. And don't get too tired, what you're talking about.
Yes. And so now everything that I do, I put it on my schedule so that I can look at my calendar.
Write it down.
And say, hey, you've been doing this, that, and a third. Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't say yes to that. And so growing up, Bill, the second of 7 kids born to an unwed mother, a lot of people have had to help me get to where I am. I could not, quite honestly, no one gets anywhere by themselves. Anyway, no. I don't care who you are, who you think you are.
Right.
No, there is no such thing as a self-made man or a self-made woman. There's nothing. But a lot of people have deposited in my life, right? Necessarily so. I just would not be where I am, would not have accomplished what I have been blessed to accomplish, but for people depositing and giving and helping. My Little League Baseball coach Stu Tenney used to bring me to his house, the great fisherman. He used to bring me to his house, and I saw how life could be. Right, Mrs. Bennett, the Spanish teacher at Riverdale. Yes,
como te llamo?
You know, I was horrible at Spanish, but don't you know, when she found out that I was going to have to transfer schools because we had gotten evicted from our house, and I went to live with Aunt Queen, and Aunt Queen's residence was in Oakland Zone. Don't you know, Mrs. Bennett came to Aunt Queen's house every morning, picked me up, took me to school at Riverdale, and then brought me back home. And so when I say that I believe that people have been strategically placed along my life's path to help me, I believe that. I just believe it. It is reflected in my life that at every critical point or turn, there has been someone right there to show me which way to go, to give me what I need. And they haven't had to necessarily know me before that moment.
Right.
But they didn't know that they had been strategically placed along my life's path.
Had no idea.
No idea, right?
But looking back, it's like, wow,
that has been
Miss
born.
She was
That has been born out in my life. And so I don't know how many other people believe that about their own lives, but it is in my life. I've seen it, and I believe it, and I trust it, that when I need help the most, somebody's going to be there. There's a chapter in the Some Days Aren't So Sunny called Somebody Somewhere.
Right.
And that talks about this reality in my life. And there was someone there at the mental health facility that helped usher me in. And he was the exact person that I needed
at that time. At
that
moment.
Yes. Sure did, man.
Wow. I think as humans, for me personally, I have a fear of rejection. Oh, you're not going to like me, or the fear of abandonment. Somebody's going to run off and leave me. When I was a child, I was told that I would just wander off. I don't know why. I don't know what happened to me. I mean, I don't know. My parents didn't want me, but it's just like, where's Bill? Oh, he's over. They'd find me in somebody's house. So I don't know what that caused me later on, but I reiterate what you just said is the fact the good Lord doesn't create any junk, and the good Lord puts people in our path that we may not think at that time, but later in life, that was an angel, or that was somebody. I'm like a sheep, and I need shepherds along the way to guide me.
Sure.
And you've heard some of my story. I've been in recovery for years, and it's only by God's grace and mercy that I'm alive today. And but you're one of the few people that you inspire people. You inspire me. You inspire people, and with your story, is the people you affect. People don't realize how we affect others, and I know a lot of it has to do with my mouth, the way I talk, the way, if you look at a big boat, an ocean liner, well, what controls that ocean liner? It's the rudder. It's a very small thing, and that's kind of like my mouth can get it. It's got me into trouble. It's got me out of trouble. But I don't know. I think life. We're not supposed to be alone. We're supposed to have a community.
Oh, absolutely.
Some people think, well, no, I can do that.
We were created for community. We were not created to live in isolation. Because just like someone has helped me, I'm not only a recipient, I'm also called on to be a giver as well. And so just like people have been strategically placed along my life's path to help me, to guide me, to direct me, to give to me, I'm also on someone else's life's path. Right. And so I just can't be so consumed with my own dreams and high aspirations and goals and ambitions that I don't think about the other piece. Not only am I a recipient, but I am called upon to be a giver as well. And so when those opportunities arrive, or when someone gets to where I am, I necessarily need to be open to giving to them like I've been given to.
What's been freely given me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And to be an example. I think that's the hardest thing as far as personally is And I know I've always had, my heart's always been right. But sometimes between my ears hasn't been right. But I'm aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm able to be an example. Not always. I fail miserably some days. Things I've learned myself is to trust God, clean house, and help others.
Bill, your life, my life, our lives, your life is a movement. So what fuels a movement? Momentum. What builds momentum? One moment at a time. So if you can get something right in this moment, that it goes to show that you can do it in another moment. And you tie or connect those moments together,
right on.
They build momentum, which fuels the movement, which is your life.
Amen. And faith without works is dead. And it does. It's a collaborative effort of people. I mean, I have to take my meds. You know, I'm aware of that.
Sure.
And I've had people say, Biller, have you had your meds?
Right. You didn't take your meds this morning, did you?
Well, thanks for reminding me, honey. But, you know, none of us are, there's only one perfect. That's Jesus. But, man, this is powerful stuff that we've been talking about. And we're fixing to take another break, but we've been discussing with Dr. Vincent Windrow his book, Some Days Aren't So Sunny. If you don't get, we're going to let you know by the end of the show where you can pick up a copy because it's really good and inspirational. But you've been listening to the Roundtable here at WGNS, and we'll be right back.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
This is Shannon Woodfin Parsons with Woodfin Funeral Chapels. The Murfreesboro Christmas Parade Grand Marshal is Mr. Bill Allen. Mr. Bill worked for Woodfin Chapel for years. Mr. Bill is 100 years old. He was at Normandy Beach. And I want to thank Mr. Bill for his service. I want to thank all veterans that help protect our freedom and our country.
Merry Christmas, Rutherford County. I'm Kenneth Barrett. I'm running for sheriff in 2026. This time of year brings back lots of great memories of those who have gone before us, and those still with us. I love sharing time with my family, friends, swapping stories, and laughing. I've been proud to call Rutherford County and the Sheriff's Office my home my whole life. When elected sheriff, I will continue to work hard, keep our families safe, and serve with honesty, integrity, and heart. From my family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Hello, I'm Adam Tipton with Farm Bureau Insurance. For over 75 years, Farm Bureau Insurance has proudly served Rutherford County, helping protect what matters most to our neighbors. If you're new to the area or just new to us, please give us a chance to earn your business. Give us a call at 615-893-1213 or visit us at 818 South Church Street in Murfreesboro. Our agents and staff are ready to serve you. From our team to your family, we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Every holiday season, MTE joins in the fun, supporting and taking part in local Christmas parades. From Murfreesboro to Fairview to Franklin, we light the streets, celebrate with our neighbors, and share in the joy of the season. Good energy is the heart of the holidays, because it's more than electricity. It's the spirit that powers every celebration.
Choosing the right insurance can be overwhelming. That's where Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance comes in. At Rayburn, we're not just about policies, we're about people. Rick Hall will take the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage at the best price. We've been serving our community since 1973. So why not let Rick Hall take the stress out of insurance? Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. where you're more than just a policy number. You're our neighbors.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. Murfreesboro, Bill Wilson. You've been listening to the Roundtable. Our guest has been Dr. Vincent Windrow, the author of his new book, Some Days Aren't So Sunny. And it's based on jot downs for my mental health journey. Again, thank you, Vinny, for being here, for being my guest. Before we get started, let's give some condolences to Rhonda Allen's family, who just passed. Such a sweet lady. She was known in Rutherford County, but especially in Smyrna. You had been on a board with her, or the planning commission, and then I wanted to say something about my third grade teacher.
Can I say something about Rhonda?
Yes, go ahead.
Is that how this thing's supposed to work? It's supposed to go 1, 2, not 1, 1.
Okay, yeah, right.
Right?
You're two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Oh man, Rhonda Allen, she was somebody. Like she was somebody. When I talk about a good person, so I served with her on the Rutherford County Regional Planning Commission, right? And she was prepared, right? Some folk want to be ready, but they don't want to prepare in order to be ready. They're just willing to be ready.
Right.
She was prepared. Like she dug into the issues. She was fair-minded. She had a sweet spirit about her. She was sharp. She was an exceptional commission member. She was, man. She was super duper sharp.
This is Shannon Woodfin Parsons with Woodfin Funeral Chapels. The Murfreesboro Christmas Parade Grand Marshal is Mr. Bill Allen. Mr. Bill worked
family. And I just want to mention my third grade teacher, Mrs. Dolly Jolly.
Dolly Jolly.
I always said, you have the coolest name, but she's my third grade teacher.
At campus school?
At campus school. And her husband was the late Jack Jolly.
Baseball
Yes,
coach.
Yeah.
At Oakland.
At Oakland, right.
Did you know that Oakland, yes, condolences to the family, and did you know that Oakland won the state championship
for the
again?
15th time? I mean, it's for the, I think the 9th time.
9th in school history.
In school history.
How about that?
It's unreal, and it's every year. It's not. I'm not going to say I'm not Nostradamus and saying, hey,
you're not.
I'm not. May look like
I'll
him.
say it.
I
say
just
it with
don't
you.
have the bangs.
I'll agree.
Hey, let's get back to the story.
Come on.
Congratulations to Coach Creasy and those Oakland Patriots.
Absolutely.
All of them.
You know, I'm Oakland class of 1984.
But you're also Riverdale. I'm class of 84 at Riverdale.
But we
class
were
with more.
Yeah,
class with more.
We were class with more. Y'all were not class with more. Did y'all have a phrase or some type of moniker or name?
That's what we did. Was the class of 84, the class with more, and we just had a reunion last.
No. Oakland, our tagline was the class with more.
I think it was a group effort, but that'll be on the next show, Vinny.
Okay.
Let's move on.
My bad. I'm sorry.
I want to talk about something I found interesting in your story. I had no idea, but let's talk about you finding out about your father.
Oh, sure. That one.
It takes longer than 10 minutes, but.
I would like to start.
Yes, you start.
But I can't start if you're still talking.
Sorry.
My turn?
Your turn.
One of the great discoveries that I've had, I guess in my life, Bill, and thanks for asking the questions, all jokes aside, was discovering who my father was. So 1965. Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He's from around Lafayette, Louisiana. He goes to the university there, Air Force ROTC. His first station was the Air Force Base in Smyrna. What was the name of it?
Seward Air Force Base.
Good job, Bill.
Thank you.
You are Mr. Murfreesboro and Smyrna. Don't change your name, man. So he spends years here, 2.5, almost 3 years here, right? And he's on his way to Korea for his next assignment. And I was conceived, right? He had no idea. So he goes on to Korea. And I don't find him until I'm 58 years old. Last year. And so my wife Stacy had given me one of those 23andMe things, one of those ancestry things,
Yeah.
right? DNA genetic stuff, and I put it on the shelf. I didn't do anything with it. 2 years later, I did something with it, but then I couldn't find the packaging that it went in, so I had to purchase another one, and I finally sent it in. While I was away at the mental health facility for those 28 days, my results came in, and Stacy, you're not allowed to call like all the time, right? So in one of those calls that I had with her, she said, "Hey, Papa," that's what she calls me. She said, "Hey, Papa, your DNA results are in." I was like, whoa. It was some trip.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so once I returned home, man, I dug into it, and it was a wild goose chase because I met I matched with a whole bunch of people,
right,
on my father's side, but they were like sixth cousins and fifth cousins, and so they had no idea who he was because of the distance between us, right?
Right.
And so my nephew, my nephew, he and I matched. He put his in, and we matched, and like bingo. I had a cousin, Corey Van Eek. She lives on the East Coast. She was helping me, and she was probably the first one to say, well, she was the first one to say that you have to be a mesh, right? And so then my nephew and I matched, and so I was in Las Vegas for a James Taylor concert. I love James Taylor. I used to listen to James Taylor on the school bus going to school when I was a lad, right? And I have loved it. I have gone to 17 or 18 James Taylor concerts. Right. So I was out in Las Vegas for a James Taylor concert, and my nephew and I talked, and he gave me my father's phone number. Wow. And I called him. And of course, he didn't know anything about me. And so that was, and what's your name? Or who is this? Who this is?
Who this is?
And he's 83, right? And so he had retired from the Air Force. He was a full bird colonel. He had spent 30 years in the Air Force, and he was retired. Then he went to retire from the military. He retired from the school system back in Lafayette. And it was, I'm pretty sure he had seen some things and heard some things in his life, but he hadn't heard this.
Hey, Vandy.
And so, and he was Cajun, right? And so he talked like that. And so eventually, man, I went to Lafayette
to see him,
and to see him, to meet him, right? And we met, man. And the last, while we were together, before I came back to Tennessee, he stuck out his hand, looked me in the eye, and said, "You have enriched my life in my old age."
And then we're about to run out of time, but you also found out all of your relatives.
I have a whole new family.
And that's a whole
new
family.
A whole new family, right? A whole new family. And my stepmom and one of my brothers came to Tennessee about a month ago and stayed with us for a couple of days to hang out.
You met him, you found out in May, and then
So I met him in June of 2024, and he passed in October of 2024, right?
Wow.
Yep. How about that? 4 months later.
Wow.
4 months later. Yep.
It's just, it's amazing.
It is amazing. I mean, it is amazing. It's an awesome story.
But you're in that facility, Stacy calls you and says, "Hey, I got your result." And you're like, "Oh, wow." And then you find out all this.
Yes. It's a tremendous. And, man, my friends tell me, man, I've known some people with stories like this, but it never turns out like yours. It never turns out like yours.
It's a movie. Tell us, where can people find?
Oh, sure, absolutely. Thanks for
Sundays
asking.
aren't so sunny.
So let's do this. Let's Cash App $26 to FOCS Give. $ FOCS Give. FOCS is Friends of Cemetery School. The proceeds from the book go towards the restoration of Cemetery School.
Cool.
FOCS give.
And I'll put that in the comments.
That's
below.
kind of you.
And when do they plan on having the school ready? Is it?
So in June. So it'll be restored, not fully, but restored enough by the middle of February. But in June, the second week and the fourth week in June, we're having something called Patriot Camps out there. Remember when we were growing up, Bill, we learned all of those patriotic songs. This land is your land and my country. They don't learn them anymore, man. They don't. And so this Patriot Camp is about teaching and introducing civic mindedness and volunteerism and patriotism, those patriotic songs, to children from 5 to 12 years old. So we're having one out on the cemetery school land on the property the second week in June, and then another one the fourth week in June.
And you will lead us in the singing.
Yes, I know those songs. I love those songs. Those songs have helped me.
Love you, man.
Love you too, brother.
Thanks for keeping me humble today, Vincent.
I don't mind at all. It was my pleasure.
Man, this has been great. I want to thank everybody for listening. You can watch us at Facebook Live, and you've been listening to WGNS 1450 AM here in Murfreesboro. This is the Roundtable, and this is Mr. Murfreesboro, Bill Wilson. Thank you for listening. Go out and do something nice for somebody. God bless you.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.